Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
So we get our voices working.
Okay, seems to be working.
How about some things on the wall? Thrown on the wall.
Like Jello sticks?
No.
Yeah.
Jello's overhead projectors. All right, Gail.
Well, I was going to say that I was going to do a poem about all the Bobs I've known over the years. But I had a moment of good taste and decided not to. You're my favorite one, though, I must say.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. My dearest Dr. Krieger, your absence has left my heart beleaguered, and life at CCC oh so meager. At 17, you taught my classmates and I all about symbolism, though the sexual aspect of it would have given Mother an embolism.
I remember the story. Well,
I still managed to graduate 10 years later, nimble and wizened.
nice try, very good.
I'll leave that here.
Okay, who's next? You can resume the poet's chair.
Oh, I see.
In a sense, we're looking for a poet laureate. We've lost our poet laureate.
One here. Well, first of all, I want you English department to know that I don't like to read poetry in front of all of you. Especially my
Would you
own.
like us to turn our backs?
This is not fair.
Bob, read it.
Well, anyway,
He's the poet.
Bob, here we go. We had party number 1. Everyone came and had some fun. Now, why have number 2? Asked poet Bob. Do folks need more beer and hobnob? Alas, I wonder why it should be. Do they want to gaggle and gawk at me? I think I know, claims he. They want to see a walking, talking retiree.
You're well on your way. I don't know what that was, but
Good.
poetry.
My God. Is this a 90-minute cassette?
It's a collection of John
Volumes.
Few people remember it now, but Jim Lee, Bob Krieger, and I came to Clackamas in 1968 to form an English department. I couldn't figure why they hired the 3 of us, so I went to see Dr. Hawkinson. And he said, John, he said, I have hired you to bring scholarship and dignity to the department. I've hired Jim Lee to help Bob Misley build a baseball program at school. And I've hired Dr. Krieger because I think he can bring us relevance. I wasn't familiar.
I don't know.
I wasn't familiar with that term at the time. And Dr. Hawkinson wouldn't explain, but I was sitting in my little cubicle of an office with my green eye shade on, studying the German critics, and I sensed a presence, and I turned, and there silhouetted against the sun was Dr. Krieger. At that time, Dr. Krieger was 6 feet 2 inches tall. He had golden hair now. And he was wearing a lounge suit.
I'm gonna die.
Not yet.
He turned out to be the ideal office partner for me. I was, of course, in the scholarship. And Bob helped me to appreciate poetry. He would sit at his desk, and he always had a Spanish shawl that he always threw over his shoulders. And he would open a book, and he would chortle, and then he would read me a few lines. He explained James Whitcomb Riley to me, things that I might have never understood. But romantics such as Dr. Krieger have their dark times too. He would, on those times he would reach for his tear-stained copy of Julia Ann Moore and read about the little girl that choked to death on a piece of beef.
John, you're getting me mixed up with you. You did that.
If you go on and on, I'm going to tell the true story about sitting on your desk in a miniskirt.
Let's see.
Well, that threw him off.
That was when I said, tits are out, and he says, wait till I tell Darlene, she's going to beat you up.
Did I hear this? Jeez, so much has gone by.
This may seem hard to believe, but Dr. Krieger is actually older than he was. He was a very important part of the American Romantic movement.
I'm sorry.
He and Edgar Allan Poe would smoke a joint together and go off to court tubercular women.
Mostly 12-year-olds. They like to have kittens on their breast when they
He had an affair with Minnie Myrtle Miller, the sweet singer of Coquille. And I was looking in a book of poetry that I got from my mother. And in the chapter on Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, it turned out there was a poem dedicated to little Bobby Krieger, who shined my boots at prep school. The poem itself has some echoes of Hiawatha and is prophetic. On the hills of Alameda, high above the seething ghetto, stands the manse of Dr. Krieger, dapper PhD and poet. Dark beside it lurks the drug house.
Love it.
Handy to their favorite client. Crouched before it, his frail tenants beg for succor from their landlord. Here the frugal Dr. Krieger hoards his rich antique collection, fondles gaudy turkey carpets, beats his cat and beats his nephew, stills his plaintive cries by saying, "Hush, or Mildred Schwab will hear you." Krieger rises in the morning, breaks his fast with lemon jello, slakes his thirst with Coca-Cola, and sallies forth to meet his students. Then to Clackamas in his Mustang, where he taught Sylvester Biko.
Oh, yes.
Wooed and won fair Mrs. Webster.
Oh,
Flashing lights and rude caresses. There he mentored Elaine Hebel from the army to the convent.
It's a very long poem.
Retiring by inches for a decade. We leap into a rosy future of dyspepsia and ennui.
now I know administrators have nothing to do but write funny poems.
Back to the classroom, John.
Retiring by inches for a decade.
That sounds a little bit like the love song.
All I can do is I swear.
It's been a marvel. Who else?
Who else will dare to
Claudia.
try?
Well, Bob, I'm sure you're familiar with John Keats' obscure poem, "To One Who Has Been Long in City Pens."
Yes.
Okay. To one who has been in McLaughlin, Kent, and long inured to breathe the chalk-filled air, 'tis very sweet to look upon the fair and joyous face of retirement. Who is more happy when, with heart's content, he sinks into a Victorian fainting chair to contemplate Shakespeare. For ungraded themes, no need now to repent. But in the wake his absence brings distress. Colleagues and students, sad and beleaguered, upon return to campus without Krieger. Who now, they ask, will tolerate Craig's mess? And who will create poems the soul to move? None here, as these pale undertakings prove.
It's kind of like a Mormon meeting. The people just
Right.
And that's going to say,
We're all going to
we're
sing.
all going to say,
I was just,
I'll do the musical.
a music.
John might have his guitar here. Well, most of you have sung. Ay, in China they never eat chili, so well, this is a little different. Not much. So I'm going to teach you the chorus, and you'll have to sing the chorus, and then I'll sing the verse. This is how the chorus goes. Ay, in Alameda, men prefer Jello. So sing me another verse that's worse than the other verse, and waltz me around, my good fellow. You can do that, right? Okay, you ready? In Alameda, men prefer Jello. So sing me another verse that's worse than the other verse, and waltz me around, my good fellow.
Honey, would you just check and make sure the tape recorder's working okay? It looks fine to me. But
See what happens when Jim waits right
The second line is
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
recording.
in Alameda, men prefer Jello.
Yeah, okay,
That's
good.
the second line. Okay, so here we go. In Alameda, men prefer Jello. So sing me another verse that's worse than the other verse, and waltz me around, my good fellow. There was a young teacher named Vicky, with cheeks as red as a ruby. He taught of the Greeks to the nerds and the geeks. She shared a small office with Phoebe. Men prefer Jello. So sing me another verse that's worse than the other verse, and waltz me around, my good fellow. As Ruby grew richer and older, he became bolder and bolder. He bought up antiques, saved his pennies for weeks, kept his PRS rules in a folder. In Alameda, men prefer Jello. So sing me verse and waltz me around, my good fellow.
Now he's retired to his mom's. His name is Valium and Tongue. He says, laugh if you please, I'm much at my ease. Don't you wish you could all just sit on your bum?
So sing me another verse that's worse than the other verse and waltz me around, my good fellow.
If anybody's quick enough.
Doing that.
Good lyrics.
Oh, I think she gets an A.
Yes! Well, I have a musical tribute also, but it has to have the piano, and I
The
can't
piano's
bring it
right over
to
there.
here.
Okay, shall we conclude with this section of the poet's chair? and
All right,
conclude with that?
And move to this.
A movable poet's chair. All right.
You both wrote home.
Okay. You'll notice the credit on mine. Edgar Allan Poe.
Other than my love. Five. I'm sorry, I took it the wrong way.
That's right, let's get it right. As John had alluded, the history is interwoven between Edgar Allan Poe and Bob Krieger, and happened to find these other verses to one of Edgar Allan Poe's piece,
I see.
credited to Edgar Allan Poe. See if I can get the rhythm here. One day after lit class dreary, while he pondered, weak and weary, over many quaint and curious essays of forgettable lore, grading papers, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at his office door. "'Tis some student," Krieger muttered, tapping at my office door. Only this and nothing more. Ah, distinctly he remembers it was the bleak December, and each separate failing student wrought his F at Krieger's door. Eagerly he wished the morrow, vainly he had sought to borrow from his books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for that lost amour, for the radiant Elaine Hebel he had secretly adored. Forevermore. And the silken, sad, and certain syntax of these essays hurt him, made him think of quitting as he thought so many times before. So that now, to still the beating of his heart, he stood repeating, "'Tis some poor student entreating entrance at my office door. Some failing student entreating entrance at my office door. That it is and nothing more." Finally, towards the door he's turning, all the soul within him burning, just to find its rusty painter standing there outside his door. Not the least obeisance made he, just a second stopped and stayed he. And with mien of lord did say he, perched outside Bob's office door, perched upon a bust of Lois just outside Bob's office door. "You don't have to work no more."
Well, I had one that was called Farewell to Valium.
Not yet.
It began with into Tom's office, Krieger strode, demanding a change in his spring term load. But I could only come up with rhymes like crowed and toad. I thought
That's where you put him.
it wouldn't work, so I came up with something more fitting for the poet laureate of CCC. The Ode to the Vacant Poet's Chair. Or Rust in the Dust.
I want you to know that I went out and sat in that just before I left.
In the poet's chair?
Yeah. I thought it would be a fitting sort of thing.
Well, then I should call it Bust in the Dust. Well, I named some of the things that were I was using, some of these poetic gimmicks that you poets are inclined to use. Yeah, I didn't have any Zugmas, but When Buffalo Bob's headland sank, illusion,
That fun.
all his students they did thank. Pitiful rhyme. The mirthless poet pedagogue, alliteration. Full 1 years and then one more, poetic language. Marched Roman legions, epic Greeks, and jaded French to Robert's Randall realm. Yet he, as if astride Bucephalus, ludicrous imagery. Mighty Alexander's steadfast steed did lead the charge against folly, vice, and papist lore. God, what a bore.
I know it's very interesting that all of this, when you have Bob as an office mate, really sinks in. But when you're just next door, nothing happens really very well, you know. It doesn't seep through the walls. But I came up with this thought. It's with great joy and considerable glee that we now toast Bob, who roves about free. He's no longer the guardian or purveyor of doggerel from the hallowed precincts of old CCC. So it's farewell to old Dr. Bob, who's cashed in his chips, kicked his professorial bucket. Gone his clear word on the best reader for the job. Rather, he's drawn up his ladder like Father Maple of Nantucket.
Okay. Well, see, like I said, I made it pretty because the inside wasn't so great. Craig, I would have thought of that. Oh, sure. Craig had said that he thought it would be appropriate to do something with Buffalo Bill's defunct, E. Cummings poem, and then Buffalo Bill's dead, you see. But that stuck in my brain, so I just did it anyway. Buffalo Bob's retired. Buffalo Bob's retired, who used to love to mold young minds and break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crazies in one class at one time.
God, they all found Bob.
Lord, he was a grand old prof, and what I want to know is, how do you like your lazy, no paper grading days, Buffalo Bob?
I can't believe you all did this. How long did you work on these things? I mean, it would have taken me hours to do these things.
Bob, we don't have really time to do it.
As long as we promised you weren't coming back.
I wonder if you could all come to my poetry class Monday and do a reading.
And I get to go on first, right?
Ellen, did you have one?
I can only come up with 2 lines. When Bob went
I like short poems.
when Bob went driving through London town, a second bridge came tumbling down.
I'll never tell that story again.
You don't have to, it's all over.
I know how the grapevine.
Well, Buffalo Bob's defunct also stuck in my mind.
Sorry I didn't wear the white sweater tonight. Brown blue.
Buffalo Bob's defunct, who used to pop those golden Valium, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I couldn't stand up.
That's when you came to my office.
Then float to class high and fair. By God, he was a mellow man. Buffalo Bob's defunct, who used to grade those student poems. 1, 2, 3, 4. A fine lyric, he'd declare, and toss them in the can. Buffalo Bob's defunct, who saw those minor pedants come and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Judd, Elaine, Anita Ham, and Joe. Buffalo Bob's defunct, who often called in sick. 1.
Keep going.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Hey, I want you to know, when they figured out my pension, I had 180 sick days.
Yeah, you never filed sick leave.
Headache, nausea, tedious tales of woe. Call Steve, another tape to show. So what I want to know is, how do you like your blue-eyed boy, Mr. Retirement, Mr. Redundant?
Cruel, very cruel. I know, but true.
Should we kind of move into
Oh,
it?
do we have to lower the whole tone of this now? Bob told me I could not write a poem. So I went to my piano and tried not to make it a poem.
Sounds great.
And I was going to have everyone sing along, but now that you've heard it, There's one part that will keep coming up. It's called Bob Krieger, Bob Krieger. When I get to that part, you can sing it. Okay?
Should we have another one of these next month then?
I don't know.
This every couple months.
Sprinkling people are very talented.
Could you submit the poems first?
Wait.
See that little lamp right above you?
I'm right here.
Right above you.
Yeah, just sit right here so I can
Sit
look
right
at
over
it.
there.
Oh, Bob.
Please.
All right, there is a song. Bob Krieger, why are we so eager to roast him and toast him in poem and rhyme? Bob Krieger, that's the part you can sing along with. Bob Krieger, my offering's so meager, I set it to music in 3/4 time. Got it? He's retired, you say, not fired, I pray. And he taught students love for their own native tongue. A classicist name could brighten their day with a noble distinction between brought and wrong. Bob Krieger, who is this guy Krieger? Why do we assemble to honor his name? Bob Krieger, he is a big leaguer and he's entered into CCC's Hall of Fame. He's a traveling man, a renowned gourmet.
Wait. Go on.
Who orders his wine in impeccable French. Ah, monsieur, s'il vous plaît, alors, puis ici, 1974. Alors, a collector of art and fine furniture too. He'll search the world over for the perfect old bench. He's a gardener whose mums win him trophies galore. And he picks up his spade like he's gone to war. Bob Krieger. We like this guy Krieger and wish him no sorrow, no shadows, no strife. And may his endeavors continue to please him. And may the world treat him well in the
Musical feature.
You're making it into a play, Bob?
with the tutu and everything.
Yes. Ballet in Act 3.
They already did cats, right? Right, they already did cats.
Like T.S. Eliot. No, I don't want to. No.
Is it your turn now? Are you going to?
No, I'm not going to perform. Of course
yes, you
not.
are.
This is for
Yes,
me.
you
Why
are.
should I perform? I have not written a poem. I'm sorry. I thank you all very much. It's been thoroughly delightful and full of truth. A little surrealistic in parts.
Talent, isn't this?
I know, it's just amazing. I may think about an anthology.
Yeah, you probably publish it now.
Thanks again.